Hey, it's Courier Girl, and today we're going to talk about being on time. And no, I'm not going to beat you up if you've ever been late. I've been late myself. In fact, this is a whole different take on being on time, one that you may not have heard before. So settle back and listen in good because you're going to learn some things in this video. All right, so I was late today. I'm just going to tell you that up front. I didn't even get up till like 45 minutes past when I was supposed to get up. I didn't hear my alarm, or if I did, I turned it off. I actually have multiple alarms going in the morning, and I turned all of them off. And I wake up, it was 4:52. I'm supposed to be at my first stop between 4:50 and 4:55, so that wasn't happening. And I kind of like did the high school roll out of bed and out the door type thing, where I just got out the door really quick, and I was actually driving down the road at just after 5. So I called my the place that I need to drop off at, which I'm supposed to be at by 5:30, and I said, I'm just going to be late today because I didn't get up. I was honest, and I think that's really important, to have good communication and to be honest with the people that you're working with, because why not be, for one thing, but for another thing, people will like make up these stupid dog ate my homework type of excuses, and they're going to start to look shady after a while, even if they're not really, they're just having trouble getting going. And so it's always better to be honest. I'm very rarely late, so I knew that they would be okay with it, even though I wasn't internally okay with it. But what happened was I got to my first stop, where I'm usually picking up around, like I said, 10 to 5, 5 to 5 in the morning. And I didn't get there till 5:25 or 5:27. And guess what? They were not ready for me. They were still sorting stuff and putting it together in, the way that I pick it up. And so I'm just like, that's interesting. Maybe like the universe or God or whatever you want to call it knew that they weren't going to be ready. So it just gave me an extra half hour of sleep, or 45 minutes. And what was really cool is that I woke up, I had some amazing dreams. I can't remember them now, but this morning they were amazing. And I woke up and I felt really rested and refreshed and just ready to go. So everything ended up working out. Yes, I did get there half an hour late. But then I was able to get back on track, and I'm totally on time for the rest of my route this morning. So what do I want to talk about being on time? So I kind of have a metaphysical, different way of looking at the world. I was into something called law of attraction and manifesting, which, if you're not familiar with that, in a nutshell, it is the idea that what you think about, your thoughts create your reality. And you might be like, no, that's not true, because I'd be a millionaire by now if that were true. But think about this. If you constantly think you're going to get bad service, wherever you go, you're going to get bad service, you're going to get gypped. If you go to the grocery store, your food's going to be bad. If you get at a restaurant, it's going to be bad. If you order something, it's going to come in broken, wrong, or not at all. Just, you're always going to get bad service. Every time you do get bad service, you're going to like hone in on that. See, it happened again. I got bad service. It happened again. And so in your mind, you're going to create this world of bad service. Now, do you always get bad service? Like if somebody was following you around with a notebook and objectively writing down what kind of service you got, the answer is probably not. You probably got good service just as much or more than you got bad service. But because you're focused in on this idea that you always get bad service, you're going to feel like that's what the world's all about for you, even though you're sitting in a restaurant with your bad food and the people next to you are having a wonderful meal with their amazing food, probably because they're always expecting and thinking they're going to get great service and great food and all that kind of stuff. So, and there is something to that. I've noticed in times in my life when I have focused on the negative, it's not going to work out. I'm going to get screwed. I'm not going to make any money. I'm not going to get good food, blah, 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 blah. It does seem like my life reflects that. So, if you believe that we're bigger than this world that we live in, then maybe we do have some influence on how things play out in our life, even if we're not conscious of it. So that's where I'm coming from with this. So let me tell you a story. About a year ago, I was doing this route, the same route I'm doing right now, and I got the opportunity to take on another route in the afternoon. It was only supposed to last a couple weeks, and I knew that it was going to be really hard on me because there wasn't going to be a lot of time to sleep. But I said, a couple weeks to help them out until they get like a full-time person to do it, I can do that. So I did. So here's what I had to do. I would get up at 3:45 or 4, leave at 4:30. Actually, I lived farther away then, so I had to leave at like 4:20 to 4:25. So I was probably getting up a little earlier. And then I would finish that route at 10:30ish, 10 to 10:30ish. But back then I was still new at it, so it was more like 10:30. And then I would got home at about 11:15, maybe eat something real quick and go to sleep. And I would sleep till 2:30 or so, and then I would get up, and I had to be at the next job at 3:15 to get started, and I didn't get home until after midnight often. So sometimes I could get home at 11:30. It just depended on how the night went, but it was late. In any case, it was late. So midnight, I'm getting home, trying to go to bed right away so I can get back up at 3:45 to start the next day. And as you can imagine, after a couple weeks, I was really dragging, and the second job turned into like 3.5 months. It just kept going, and part of me was like, I need to give this up, and part of me is like, I need, the money's really good, it's a good job, I don't want to give it up. So I just let myself get completely overextended, and for a period of time there, I was consistently late on the first job. Especially, like, I could do okay Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but Thursday, oh my God, that was the worst, because it was like that lack of sleep all week just caught up with me, and then Friday was awful too. So I was consistently getting there like 20 minutes late, and that was not cool with them, and I don't blame them. Every once in a great while is one thing, but when you're doing it almost every week, it's not good. And you can't just say, well, I'm getting in so late with my other job, and they're like, figure it out, because we need you to be here at this time, because they couldn't do their work until I dropped off their stuff. So I get it. Anyway, so somewhere in the middle of all this, I was watching some video about manifesting and law of attraction, or reading something. I don't remember how I got this idea, but it popped into my mind to start saying I'm always on time. And so I started doing that, and I would get up and I would be late, and I'd be like, it seems like I'm late, but really I'm always on time. So this is going to be perfect. If I got stuck in traffic, I'd say, it seems like I'm stuck in traffic, but I'm going to be on time. I'm always on time. And I did that consistently for, I don't know, a couple months. And I noticed over time, the more that I did it, the more it actually happened that I was always on time. So I can remember a few instances. Like one time, I wasn't going to be super late, but I was like, instead of 4:20, I wasn't out the door till like 4:35 one morning. And I just said, I feel like I'm late. The clock says I'm late, but I'm always on time. And that day, I remember getting to my first stop, and I had very little to pick up. It was all organized. I was in and out of there in like less than 5 minutes, which never happens. It's usually 10 to 15 minutes. And that was enough to put me back on time to get to my drop-off point on time. And then I moved later, and so now I'm only like 20 minutes away instead of 30 minutes away. So I can actually leave a little bit later. And even so, every once in a while, not often, but every once in a while, I'm like pressing the window, like I'm leaving a little bit later than I should. And it's usually not because I didn't get up, it's because I diddle dallied. I took extra time making food to take. I checked, the internet, stuff that I shouldn't be doing. I should have it all ready to go the night before, or in a way that I can put it together quickly that day, and I shouldn't be checking the internet that early in the morning and whatever. But I just keep telling myself I'm always on time. And you know what? It really works out. So there have been times when, yeah, I've been a few minutes late, but they haven't been ready for me. So I end up being on time. Sometimes, there was one time, this was crazy. I ended up actually being early, and I was about 5 minutes early. And so I went, was just driving along, and I heard later, and this had to have happened right after I went through this spot on the highway, there was like a huge crash. So if I would have just been a couple minutes later, I could have either been in the middle of that crash and been part of it, or I could have got backed up for a really long time because traffic was, I think the highway was closed down. It was that bad. So just by happenstance, I was early that day, and it was perfect timing. So I was on time for that too. I've had appointments where I've been early and they've taken me in early. I've had appointments where I was late, and because and they were running behind, so it's still, I still able to pretty much walk in and go into my appointment because I was on time. So this has become a really big part of my life because I notice that the more that I claim that I'm on time, the more that I just keep saying it, I'm on time. If I feel like I'm late, yeah, it feels late, but I'm on time. It's going to be fine. I relax more. I don't stress about things more. Things work out more. Now, not 100%. There's been times that I've been legit late and it didn't work, but you know what? It's 95%. I can't even tell you how many times it has worked out perfectly, that if I'm late, there was a reason that had something to do with the person I was going to see, or the thing that I had to do. It just like synchronicity. It's just really great. So I would try that. Like, that's something that I think that you might benefit from, even if you don't believe in this whole like law of attraction manifesting thing. It doesn't matter. The more you claim this and give it a fair trial over a couple months, not just once or twice, I think you're going to find that your life is less stressful and that you are on time more often than not. And if you're not on time, you're going to say, oh, this is why I was late. Like, you'll see the reason and it'll all still work out really well in your favor. Okay, so how do you do it? So let's say that you're late and you're running, driving down the road and you're stressed. What are you going to do when you're stressed? You're going to not feel good. You're probably going to have too tight a grip on the steering wheel. You're going to have more road rage. It will seem like people are cutting you off. You're going to get every red light. You know how that goes. You may do something erratic and almost even hit somebody, like changing a lane, or somebody will cut you off. I mean, it seems like when you're stressed, things just happen to make you even more stressed, right? So what I do when I feel that way is I realize, hey, I'm not doing the on time thing. So I will purposely relax my grip on the steering wheel a little bit because I notice I grip it too tight when I'm stressed. I will slow down a little bit, even if it's just like 3 to 5 miles per hour. Like if I'm going 65, I might go 63. There's something about slowing down a little bit that kind of slows you down. I'll take a deep breath and let it out really slowly a couple times, and I'll just say to myself, like, relax, it's okay. You may feel like you're under pressure, you may feel late, but you are always on time. This is going to be great. I'm always on time. It's going to be perfect. Everything's going to line up so that the people that I'm going to see, or the things that I've got to do, it's all going to be in perfect timing. And I started out late because it was supposed to happen that way. So that's what I do. Now, again, if you think this is a little hokey, that's fine. But, open your mind and try it anyway for a couple months and then get back to me and let me know how it works for you, because it's made a huge difference in my stress level and how I do my day and everything. It's made this job a lot easier. I almost never get mad about traffic anymore. I mean, sometimes there's some crazy guy who cuts me off or whatever, but it reminds me of something that my dad once told me when I was in the car when I was maybe 7 or 8. I was pretty little, and somebody cut us off and kind of scared me because they went from the passenger side and I was sitting in the front seat, because back then kids could sit in the front seat. And and you know what? That was kind of nicer, because when you're sitting in the front seat, you can have a real conversation, not like when you're in the back and they're in the front. It's just harder to have a conversation. And I had a lot of great conversations with both of my parents because I could sit in that front seat. So I think we've lost something in our drive for safety in car seats and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying it was part of my childhood that I really value. All right, so we were in the car and we were on the highway, and somebody cut us off from the passenger side, and it was really close, and it scared me, and I think I probably yelled about it. And my dad, he's just like really calm, and he's just like, oh, don't worry about it. They probably are in a big hurry because they have to go to the bathroom. And I just always remember that, and I say that. Somebody cuts me off, I'm like, oh, they really got to go. So it's probably not true, but it makes me feel better. Anyway, back to what I was saying. The more chill you can be, the less stressed you are, the better your day will flow, and the happier you're going to be overall, and the healthier too, because stress leads to ill health. So this thing about me saying I'm always on time is part of me being happier and healthier and having a less stressful life. Even though I work 14 plus hours a day, I'm not stressed out. Almost never am I stressed out. I'm always chill. I'm always driving along. I'm always on time. I'm always like, oh, I got a red light. Must be a reason for it. No big deal. Oh, this person cut me off. Oh, there's traffic. It's okay. I'm always on time. So that has been huge for me in reducing my stress level, making my day a lot better. And it seems to work out to get me to be on time more often. Or if I'm not, it doesn't matter, because it still flows into what the other people that I have to deal with are doing. So yeah, that's it for now. I just wanted to talk about that. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. If you've ever done law of attraction or manifesting stuff before, if you've ever done this on time stuff before, and after you've tried it for a while, come back to this again and let me know how it's working out. So yeah, that's it for now. Peace out, and I will see you on the road.